Here's what you want to see right now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Make America Think Again, and it's Monday. I'm going to wait for everybody to hop in. When you come in here, please drop your location. Let me know where you're from. If you're a first-time watcher and you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss another live. And if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up because that does help me get into the YouTube algorithm. People absolutely need to hear a different side and different objective opinion. I don't feel like that's too common. Don't feel like it's too common. Ooh, we got locations dropping. I used to do this when I first started podcasting, and I had hundreds of people. I had hella people overseas. Man, shadow banning is a bitch, man. Swear to Bob. How are you guys? Thanks for tuning in. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening in Georgia? Oh, you moved from Texas to Georgia. Why you leave Texas, man? I thought Texas is a new wave. Wisconsin in the building. Oh, I feel sorry for you. You and Cali. Feel sorry for you. Kansas. Okay, we got a lot of folks from Kansas and Florida in here. We got Kansas, Florida, Texas, Arkansas. Lit. Headed back. Georgia's ass. Yeah, I often hear that from people when they talk about Georgia. Good Lord. We outside with it. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to get right into my topics. I had come across a lot of this stuff throughout the week, but I didn't know how I was going to talk about it until I was just like, you know what? I'm going to put this on a Matter show. I think we can have some critically thinking opinions coming on a lot of these things. So I was reading through Washington Post. Of course, I do my Google News search every day where I read left. My internet is messing up. Hold on, we got to get that right. What is happening? That was weird. It just shut down on me. Am I back? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Are we good? What's up, TP? Hopefully we're back and it's not messing up. But university admission policies to face Supreme Court review. So pretty much what's happening on Monday. The Supreme Court announced that on Monday, it will once again look at whether universities may consider the race of applicants when trying to build diverse student bodies, and an ominous development for those who say there is a continuing need for affirmative action in higher education. So when I read that, I'm like, okay, I don't think we need affirmative action in universities. I agree. Then I kept reading. The court says it will examine the admission policies at Harvard University, and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, most probably in the term that begins in October. Lower courts found that both schools compiled with the Supreme Court's precedents said that, I don't have my glasses. Let me put these on real quick. It's been a minute. Yo, if you guys know who this is, you've been watching me for a minute. Me and this dude used to go back and forth on so many topics. It's dope to see you here. I just saw your name. I got to shout you out. But the lower courts found that both schools complied with the Supreme Court, right? That said that race may be used as one factor. Universities can consider it in a wide range of evaluation. But if you keep reading, it goes on to say that the Supreme Court majorities that decided Grutter versus Bollinger in 2003 and reaffirmed it in 2016 are gone. So pretty much the Supreme Court judges that say we need to get rid of race when it comes to these schools and the upper echelon of schools, we'll say prestigious universities. We need to get rid of it because it is causing Black and brown people to be underserved, because these universities can see that they're either Black or brown, and they won't consider them because they want an, I guess, all white um, college, which doesn't make sense to me, right? It doesn't make sense that they are worried about this and don't want race shown when we have HBCUs, when we have scholarships that literally depend on whether you're black or brown. So if we're going to be removing race because it's a hindrance to serving black and brown students from college applications, doesn't that mean that we should then get rid of all the scholarships? Because if you look at it that way, then there is an underserved or underrepresented race with that, and that would be white folks in America. Why is one okay but the other isn't okay? I'm like, I was reading this. I was reading this, and they're talking about in a multiracial and a multi-ethnic nation like ours, college admission bar cannot be raised for some races and ethnic groups, but lowered for others. And in my head, I'm like, but you have scholarships. You have colleges that are made for black people. It says historically black universities. I'm sure more black kids go there than white. Like, what do you mean? Why can't, if colleges did in fact say, hey, we want this to be a predominantly white school, so we're probably going to let more whites than blacks in. If that is in fact what they're doing, why does it matter? Now, I know some of these schools are federally funded, so they do have to go with what the Fed says, but in a general sense, why does it matter? Why can't a university, a college, a business, whatever, have the right to say, hey, well, either I want all black students here, I want all Asian students here, and I want all white students here? Like, what would be wrong with that if we had that in society? If you really think about it, how does acknowledging race, which is what the left has been asking for, how does acknowledging race then serve as a detriment to black and brown students because they're automatically ruled out because they're black? Where is the study to show that? Like, to show what Edward Bloom is talking about. These investigations going, or Supreme Court looking over admissions at Harvard here and University of Carolina. How do you prove that students aren't being picked specifically because we can see black on the application? How do you not know that, hey, it might be that they have a low GPA, or maybe they're not competing like the white students are? Like, aren't there a ton of different nuances that go into this? So I'm kind of shocked that Supreme Court is even looking at this, to be honest, because I would like to know how they're proving that this is hindering black and brown students from being able to get into these schools. I would need to know that. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. It was weird to me. I'm like, if the Supreme Court rules to remove race from the admission application, then HBCUs shouldn't exist. All the grants and scholarships should cease to exist because you have to determine what race someone is or where they come from. You have to. That's basing educational resources on what person of color is. Is that not going to underserve a specific demographic in America? Or do they not need scholarships and all this other stuff? I just don't get it. Not race or nationality. It should be based on your merits. I agree. Sorry. I have a ton of jets flying over me right now. Wasn't that the point of affirmative action? Yes. So, yeah. I think, me personally, I think universities should be allowed to look at race if they so choose. Why not? Why do we have to remove it? So we can't see who's having low GPS scores and who's having high? Doesn't make sense to me. And also, I think this just made me think. Do you guys remember in Oregon where the governor of Oregon signed a bill to end reading and math proficiency requirements for graduation? Do you remember that? So Since we're going to be removing race, okay, right? Look where I'm going with this. Since you want to be removing race because you said race pretty much stifles black people from being able to get into these universities if they know they're black. Are we then going to remove GPA scores? Because like I just mentioned before, the governor in Oregon decided, hey, let's end reading and math proficiency and lower the standards so that these students can graduate. It doesn't make any sense, man. I'm not kidding either. This and she was asked why she was doing this or why she felt it was necessary. And her words verbatim was, I'm not going to address this. So me personally, when I see these things happening and I see the Supreme Court looking at it, it's like, where are we going to go next? What standards are we going to lower? What goalposts are we going to move? Why can't people just compete based on merit, like Monica said here, instead of race, sexual orientation, gender identity, and all this other shit that falls into it? And yes, I'm going to be talking about pronouns, which is a great segue to this. But just think about what I just talked about, though. Think about what I read. The link in your bio is broken. What? Really? Hold up. See, I got to stop the show real quick. I want people to be able to tune in. Oh, okay. You're right. That's my fault. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to pause the show, but I got to get this right. Everyone gets a medal. I mean, it's pretty much what it's starting to sound like, right? Okay. Boom. I'm going to update it right now so that people can tune into the live. Oh. They're asking me my pronouns. Why do you care about my pronouns? Hey, if you have the bell on, you will not miss a show. That is absolutely right. If you hit the notification bell, you can be here no matter what. Okay. I pinned it. Boom. It's in there now. So all you got to do is refresh and it should work. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know I did that. Just seeing this, but sure. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. It said video was moved. Yeah, because I put the other video, the conversation that I did with me, Bryson, and all those other people on there who got offended. But back onto the subject. Me personally, I feel like removing race from applications just for Black and brown students because they're, I guess, how did they say it in here? I want to use their words against them. Underrepresented. It was on the tip of my tongue. But they're underrepresented because race is on here, and you should consider removing it. Just like we should in Oregon, they considered, hey, let's remove requirements to show that you're smart and you actually know what the fuck your teacher taught you all year. Remove that, and let's just go ahead and replace it with what exactly? Okay, I have a couple teacher friends who said because of No Child Left Behind, they can no longer hold children back. That is true. No Child Left Behind actually started when I was in school, and I remember we started having a state standardized testing. We had PASA in Pennsylvania, and we had what was called the I forgot what it's called in North Carolina. Something CAT. You had to take a test to pass to the next grade. Didn't matter how you did all year. As long as you passed that test, then you passed your grade. Absolutely insane. But next on the topic list that I felt required a lot of critical thinking was this story that everybody was already talking about with Matt Walsh. Is not a story, it's actually a live, not even a live, but a show that happened on Dr.Phil, where these two individuals, because they don't want to be named male or female, decided to have a conversation with Matt Walsh. And he asked him the question, what makes a woman a woman? we're going to look at a tiny bit of this. I won't be showing it all, but I do want to play this thing. It's a thing, okay? Look, I'm about to confuse myself and I'm about to confuse you, right? So when I'm looking at this, sorry, I'm trying to move this. And I was trying to figure out, I was looking at the picture of them too. Let me go back to the picture of them. I'm looking at this picture, right? And I'm trying to figure out, was she born a woman? Because in my mind and in my head, this is a she. This is a natural born woman. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I'm going somewhere with this. This is an actual woman and this is an actual man. But they decided to swap genders only to be with an opposite sex from jump. Like, the fact that I can't even get it out, I can't even get it out. I'm trying to like rationalize this, right? So this is a woman and that's a man. But this man transitioned to a woman and this woman transitioned to a man, right? But this is still a woman and that's still a man. So you actually like men, but you think you're a man that likes other men. So technically you're gay and you actually like women, but because you think you're a woman dating another woman, you're a lesbian. Bro, if this shit does not prove that we're all right and this is a mental illness, I don't know what will. Like, bruh, where in their minds, oh, bruh, I can't. This is a same-sex heterosexual relationship. I'm sorry, I gotta play this video on y'all, bro.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop you fucking lying.
What? Stop lying. Stop making me lie. Stop lying to yourselves, bro. This was hilarious. That's not why I wanted to talk about this, but when I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, yo, they're in a same-sex heterosexual relationship. Like, it's a fucking oxymoron, man. Serious question. Who gives a shit? I do. I do, because this is crazy. Rationalize this. But anyway, this is it a thing? I don't know how to say it. This thing was asked a very straightforward question. He's like, well, I heard you say you're a trans woman. So what is exactly a woman? But I'm going to play it so you guys can hear it. Bruh.
Okay. Someone who's, here's the thing. When you're a female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is female, you said, right?
Correct. Gotcha. Is a biological female.
So what happens with
your definition, that is a woman is someone who's a female. Your definition, how about the only definition? If you don't have, listen, I'm legit about to go change my shirt while this is playing, so you guys can see what makes a woman. So I'm gonna let this play, okay? And I will be right back.
We have maybe someone who is female, identifies as a woman, right? Cisgender woman, right? As you just explained, maybe doesn't have the ability to reproduce. Maybe doesn't have those organs that you're talking about that are reproductive organs.
I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not
but
myself.
You used the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
that describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Identify as what?
As a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Each woman.
Someone says that video is not playing, it's buffering. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm here. Is it buffering for anybody else? If it is, I'll have to go back and play it again. I have a feeling she's going to come back on camera in lingerie. That was cringy. That was cringy. Ew. Okay. Sorry, I had to address that.
Each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently. And so trans women are women too.
Okay.
And you want to hold on. You want to reduce. Listen.
You want to reduce means though. So
you want to reduce women. You want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes. Right? That's what you're saying.
What you want to do is
that's
what you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood.
Okay.
And turn it into basically a costume that could be worn.
I like this dude. I like that whole clip. It was fire. They could not address what an actual woman was. Well, I can't address it because I don't identify as one. But you look like one because you have long hair and boobs. Look, being a woman is not a feeling. You don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm a woman because I feel like it. This is what I feel like identifying as. It doesn't work like that. You need a set of ovaries, which are these things right here. You need some fallopian tubes, which is this right here. And you need this big thing here that houses a minor. It's called a uterus. Okay? So if you don't have eggs naturally, if you don't have a uterus naturally, if you don't have boobs that create breast milk naturally, if you don't have fallopian tubes or ovaries, I probably said that already, but if you ain't got them two things, sis, you're not a woman. You're not a woman. And he was absolutely correct in saying you want to appropriate women because I don't identify as anything. Look at you. You look like a full-blown woman with a beard. How are you going to say I don't believe in men or women, but you're dressed as a woman with nails? You have nails, okay? You have boobs, fake ones, long hair. I mean, I don't know. Those things were an indication that you're a female. But because we keep listening to these sick individuals and I'm going to keep driving this home, but because we keep listening to them, we keep allowing them a platform to say what's okay and what's not okay. This is what a woman is. This is what a woman is not. This is what a man is. This is what a man is not. It is just, it's all confusing, and people tend to argue over things that they don't understand because this literally makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm going to play this clip because this was a mic drop for me.
There should be no construct of gender, just sex. You're either male or female.
Right.
And someone feeling in a mental, emotional way that they don't identify with the sex that they have been biologically created as and assigned at birth based on their genitalia. If they don't feel that way, that there's no construct that describes that, experiences that.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the reality. So you can feel however you want. I mean, I could sit here and say that I feel like a tomato plant, but that doesn't mean that I'm actually in those things. So your self-perception, you can have whatever self-perception you want, but you can't expect me to take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production. You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. You know, it's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant, and no matter whenever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify. Makes no sense. You don't get your own pronouns. That's grammar. That's language.
So you think it's a
Yo, look at it. He's hot. Look at him. He's like, I don't get my own what? So you're telling me I can't feel something and people don't have to acknowledge it? That is just not right. That is intolerant. You're a bigot. That's what's going on in his head.
These are that's grammar. That's
Look at
language.
his
So you think it's a delusion? Someone is self-delusional.
Yeah, I think it's delusion. It could be mental illness. It could be it's a lot of different things. With children, you know,
Wow.
there's also just a basic confusion at all.
Bruh, when you tell them the truth about themselves, they don't like it. Wow. Oh, so I got a mental illness now and I'm delusional? Wow. Like you're surprised.
It's a lot of different things. With children, you know, there's also just a basic confusion that all kids have. Like that's why when you hear a parent say, "Oh, my 4-year-old son came to me and said that I'm a girl now, and so that's what I'm gonna raise him as a girl." No, you're a 4-year-old. I have 4 kids. When a 4-year-old boy comes to you and says,
Yo, why do they look so confused, bruh? Why do these two look so confused? The look on their face is like, huh? Wait a minute. I have to show this. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on his face. I don't understand why they're so confused by the fact that people are acknowledging this as a mental illness. Like they don't acknowledge it themselves because society is trying to create this as if it's something normal. That is what the left does. I'm sorry, but that's what these LGBTQ groups do. The alphabet mafia, they normalize it so that people feel okay doing what they're doing instead of just being like, no, this isn't right. And you are suffering from something. How can we help you? It creates this to where they are so, I legit think they're like, I do look, they know he's right. I don't believe that. I honestly think that they think they're the other gender and they can switch it because they don't feel right. I don't feel like I'm this, so I'm not. I mean, it's just funny watching them have these like looks of deer caught in headlights, or they're just like, huh? And they're offended because you're calling them mentally ill. Well, you are. You are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's make fun of mentally ill people. I mean, yeah, this shit right here, when they're parading it around as if it's normal, I'm gonna make fun of it. I think we should bring back public shaming. Sorry.
when a 4-year-old boy comes to you and says, "Oh, I'm a girl," here's a good follow-up question. What is a girl? Ask him what he means by that. What do you mean by girl? And when you ask him that, here's what he'll tell you. He will tell you what he really means is that he wants to do some of the things that girls do, like play with the dollhouse, or you know, he likes the color pink. That's fine. Play with the dollhouse, but you're still a boy.
They're just like, huh? What? This doesn't make any sense. I appreciate what Matt Walsh did. That gave it really strengthens our argument because there are other people that are just like, no, this is not okay. There are more people that are willing to come out and say, you are delusional. You have something going on. And rather than me just pander to you and tell you what you want to hear, I think we should be telling these people the truth. I really do. Stop lying to them. It's not helping them. All right. It's just not. We have to stop giving out participation trophies. But what really sent me over the moon, okay? What really sent me over the moon was this tweet that Matt Walsh put up. This tweet, I was like, we are not serious. And I'm going to pull the article up too, but I want to pull this tweet up so you guys can see. This is something that Matt Walsh posted on his Twitter. This is the transgender, same-sex, heterosexual relationship couple. I don't know what they are. They don't even know what the fuck they are, but that's hilarious. They put this out on Instagram. Okay? Since the taping, Ethan and I have been experiencing heightened level of anxiety to the point that we've had numerous nightmares and depression spirals over the last month. This week has been the worst. So because someone presented another side, a side which solely is based in logic, science, genetics, chromosomes, 1 + 1 is 2, biblical, traditional. I'm saying all these things to prove a point because someone told you something that was actually the truth. Now you're suffering depression? Huh? You're depressed because somebody was like, "Look, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm just going to tell you what it is, whether you like it or not." This is what we are breeding in this country by putting a mute button or a censor button over faces like this who are like, "No, I will not let you tell me what the new norm is. I will use my brain because I have an individual right to tell you no." Now, you have an individual right to say, I don't accept your no. That's cool. But you can't make the rest of the planet buy into your delusions of grandeur. These people are suffering from schizophrenia. I don't even think it's gender dysphoria. However, people want to, whatever term you want to attach to it today, I think they're suffering from schizophrenia because they literally think they're something they're not. And then they end up being in heterosexual relationships already. You think you're something. So because you think you're that, then you have to be in well, I want to be with women because I think I'm a man. Like, what? When I saw that, it took me over. I laughed so damn hard. And people will say, well, that's harsh. No, what's harsh is I have to feel bad. What's harsh is I have to feel bad for this. I have to say, like I have to pander to him and be like, well, they're experiencing all this stuff because he got on there. So what is that going to do? Censor people even more? Are you going to keep chipping away at the freedom of speech to say what you want? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let people tell the truth. I'm glad so many people are speaking about this in a positive light. I haven't seen the transgender people come out and speak on it just yet. Hopefully, when I go live on IG and I talk about this, we'll have some of the LGBTQ people hop on my live. They normally do. Sometimes they show up in the comment section, but I have not spoken to a transgender. Actually, I have. I take that back. I want to know what they think about this. I want to know how someone telling you the truth triggers nightmare and depression. Come on, man. Get a fucking grip. Get a grip. All right? Tell these people the truth. Hello. Thanks for being here. This is Making America Think Again. I think these subjects make people think, especially people that I know a lot of people who are like, yeah, they're kind of pro LGBT. And I would also like to know what they think about this too, because you guys are pushing strong delusions and you are helping this agenda be achieved simply for accepting it. Right? Anyway, next topic. Next topic, and this will be my last topic. This is as equally retarded as the whole gender thing. But racist text messages will be discussed in federal hate crimes against Ahmaud Arbery. Racist text messages. I'm going to say that again. Racist text messages are going to be reviewed and potentially being entered as evidence against the killers of Ahmaud Arbery as hate crime, like evidence to prove that a hate crime happened. How are you going to use my private text to say, well, he did this because it's a hate crime because I used a word? I know we have all used a racial slur. Everybody on this live, there's 46 people here. Everybody here has used a racial slur once in their life. You have said nigger before. Just like a black person has probably said cracker. I've said wetback. I've said beaner. I've said border hoppers. Like, we've said these things. So for your text messages to be up on the chopping block, it kind of, we can have the conversation around, where does my privacy begin and my freedom of speech end? Where do those begin and end now? Because they both seem to be not allowed anymore. You can't have privacy, and you're also not allowed to say what you want. I don't know. I'm gonna play this, and I want you guys to start telling me what you think in the comment section, and I will give my final opinion on this after the video's over.
Men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery are in federal court today to face hate crime charges. Travis McMichael, his father Greg, and their neighbor William Roddy Bryan were sentenced to life in prison last month for the February 2020 killing. Federal prosecutors want to introduce text messages that they say show Bryan's hostility toward African Americans. His attorneys want to keep an eye out, saying they are, quote, highly inflammatory and would create some bias amongst jurors. First Coast News is, of course, inside of that courtroom today, and we will keep you up to date on the very latest from Brunswick. But unlike in the state murder cases, cameras are not allowed inside of federal court. Jury will begin, in this case, February 7th.
So text messages that were probably received on the day of the murder, maybe before, because we don't even have a date. But officers do, in fact, look at your text messages to try and build a case against you, to say why you did something, to create a possible motive behind why you did it. So it's not uncommon, right? But to then take those text messages to say, well, this is considered a hate crime because they said this in their text messages. What does that prove? Like, what? I don't understand what this is going to do for Ahmaud Arbery and his family, or the individuals who are already in jail because they got sentenced for this. They're going to jail for what they did. Why do we now need to incorporate racist text messages to prove that he had some bias against African Americans, as if we all don't have a bias towards each other? Everybody on this planet has a bias against somebody. You do. Right? Is it a crime? Is it a crime to say nigger in your text messages? Is that a crime now? So I guess people can't say FAG anymore in their text messages if they so choose. You can't say anything. I guess I'm trying to rationalize in my head as we're talking here what exactly this would do, besides remove more rights from Americans to say, well, now we can actually look at your, let's just say there is an accusation of this person is racist and they did this to me because I'm black. Well, now they're going to incorporate your text message to say, well, yep, this is actually, they're right. This person is racist and they do hate them because of just because of text messages being seen. I think it's stupid. And the fact that it's even at a federal level and they are talking about possibly letting it be admitted as evidence is just stupid. What prosecutors are going to do what helps them win their case. But I hope the defense I hope they have a good defense. That's all I'm going to say, to actually fight against this, because I don't agree with it, even though I think they should be in jail because they aggressed upon his right to be where he wanted to be at the time, and he didn't know who they were. So, of course, I'm not stopping for you either. They should have been in jail. What they did was wrong. But to then attach racist text messages to prove that it's a hate crime against Ahmaud Arbery, no. No, that's the dumbest thing I have ever heard, because everything is racist. It might go against your ESG score eventually. It's crazy. Hunter Biden would be in real trouble if they use text messages to convict. I like that one. They already got life. What the fuck are they going after? Why the fuck are they going after text messages? I have no clue. That is why I'm bringing it here to matter, because I want you guys to think about everything that I've talked about, remain completely objective, and just observe things that are happening. Why? Why can't we tell transgender people you're not actually a man or a woman? You are what you're born as. Why can't we tell them, hey, you're suffering from something. Let's help you instead of feeding you BS? Why can't we? Why are colleges, why not even colleges, why is the Supreme Court reviewing what Harvard and North Carolina State of Chapel Hill does as far as their admittance? Why can't they use race? Why is race used to determine everything else as far as scholarships and HBCUs and all this other stuff? But certain schools can't use this. You can't tell trans people this. Like, there's so much what I can and can't do. There's like red tape here, red tape there. You can talk about this, but if you do talk about it, you need to make sure that you pander to this group, because if you offend them, you'll have cases like this where they go into some sort of deep depression because someone told them the truth one day. I don't know. Where do my rights begin and end? Where does freedom of speech end? And where does privacy begin? That's the question that I want everybody to ask themselves when they leave this today. Thank you for being here with me. If you are new here and you like what you heard, please share this if you're on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm stuttering. Please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up and the notification bell so that you don't miss another video. Clown world we're living in, guys. Clown world we are living in, but we're all in it together.
What you just said.
Oops. I didn't even mean to play that.